Yes, good evening to everybody. Welcome to the class of the IIB 16th court, and whose examination is going to be happen on 31st October 2021. Yes, the students are joining one after another that I could see them. And please, any one of the can unmute and read what I put on the screen so that I could continue my class. Yes.
Sir,
Anyone
good
can
evening,
unmute.
sir.
Good evening.
An
Read
evening
what I
gives
put.
you opportunity to think about yourself. Good evening. Good morning, love. Quote.com. Relax Quotes YouTube channel.
Yes, yes. This is everything that you read. It is the evening gives you an opportunity to think about yourself. And it is the sun which is sandwiched between the forefinger and your thumb of your left hand, if I not be mistaken. Yes, let us come to our study today that we are going to study the All India Bar Examination 16th cohort 2021, the Civil Procedure Code. MCQ means multiple choice question, and the marks awarded is 10 marks. Yes, now let us go to the first question. The law can be broadly classified as dash A, adjunctive law, B, substantive law, C, procedure law, D, both B and C.
C, sir.
B, sir.
Sir,
Repeat.
yes, sir. Adjective law, sir.
No, it is a D, both A, B, and C. That is a substantive and procedure law. But generally, adjective law is a mixture of the both. But to be specifically here, we can say the substantive and procedure law, these are the two broader aspects of it with the law can be classified. But it can be also said like the special law, general law, also they can say, and private law and public law. So these are the other types of the divisions should be there. Let us come to the second is question. Substantial law defines various principles regarding the three are correct, but not one among the following. So three are very much relevant to the substantial law, but not the one. Which is the one which is not relevant to the substantial law? A, the rights. B, liabilities. C, punishments or penalties or fine. D, extradition. Which one is that? Repeat. Jyoti, repeat.
C, sir.
No, it is extradition. It is not there in the substantial law. It is a separate law because in the substantial law, rights are there, liabilities are there, punishments are there, penalties are there, fines are there. Yes, third question is, dash is one of the most important branches of the procedure law. A, criminal procedure code. B, civil procedure code. C, law of evidence. D, law of limitation.
Law of evidence.
Law of evidence is about the procedure law as well as the substantial law. That's why we will say adjunctive law. But the law of limitation, you tell me, law of limitation is a procedure law or a substantial law? Anyone? Because the two things are made it over there. Sometimes you can say law of limitation is a procedure law because the limitation period would be there. So, but in other countries, law of limitation is not a procedural, it is a substantial law. But here, we can give the answer for the law of evidence here. Because it is a combination of both. Of course, when you say so, even a civil criminal procedure code also, even a civil procedure code also combination of the both. But preferably, we can say here law of limitation is a substantial law, but not a procedure law. We can make it in this way, in this question, okay? But in other countries, law of limitation is a substantial law. Okay, but here India that we will consider is a procedure law, but sometimes we will consider is a substantial law also. So what is the right answer here? The combination of both is there, then we can eliminate the law of evidence here. So then we can put the law of evidence is there, both the laws, both the substantial as the procedure law. That's the adjunctive law we can say here in this case now. Okay, next, the fourth question is, in India, there was no uniform codified law for the procedure to be followed in civil courts till 1857, 1858, 1859, 1860. There is no uniform codified law.
1860s.
No, it is 1859. Of course, 1860 automatically there is a law is made over there. Yes, fifth question. Under the British rule, there were dash courts in presidency towns and provincial courts in dash. A. Mufassil and Crown. B. Crown and Mufassil. C. Presidency and province. D. Province and presidency. What are the two gaps should be filled over here? I repeat, under the British rule, there were dash courts in presidency towns.
Presidency. Provisions.
Repeat.
C, sir.
It is a B is the right answer. Because crown courts are there in the presidency towns and provincial courts in the mufassils. So the B is the right answer. There were crown courts in the presidency towns and provincial courts in mufassils. In the provincials there are the mufassils. In the presidency there is a crown court is there. So that is the answer there. Then the sixth question is, the Code of Civil Procedure dash was also amended several times, and ultimately the present Code of Civil Procedure 1908 was passed, overshadowing the defects of the earlier code. What was the earlier code? Is it 1882? Is it 1859? Is it 1877? Is it 1861?
Yes, sir. 1882.
It is right. The answer is 1882. That is eclipsed over there. In that place, the 1908 has emerged. So, answer is for the sixth question, A. A is the right answer. That is 1882. Now, let us go to the seventh question. The word code, C-O-D, code means all three, means the following all three is there, but not one among them. One among the ABCD is not give the meaning of the code. A systematic collection of statutes. B, body of law so arranged to avoid the consistency. Yes, repeat. 118. 118, you are speaking, but we are unmute and speak. Okay. మీ పర్సనల్ మాటలు వినబడుతున్నాయండి నాకు. యువర్ పర్సనల్ టాక్స్ ఐ కుడ్ హియర్ యూ. So now here the question is, the code is systematic collection of statute. A, it's very relevant. Then B, body of law so arranged as to avoid consistency. C, body of law so arranged to avoid inconsistency. D, overlapping. Which one is the right answer for that one? Means not belong to the code. One is wrong. That is shoot even though it is wrong. Unmute and shoot. The answer is B. Body of law so arranged as to avoid consistency. No, avoid inconsistency. That is, means that is not a proper connected to the code. So that is the answer for the 7C, which is not among them. Okay, now let us come to the question 8. One of the following is a false statement. I said false statement. Please note the point. A, the Civil Procedure Code regulates every action in civil courts. B, the Civil Procedure Code regulates every civil wrong in civil courts. C, the Civil Procedure Code regulates every criminal action in civil courts. And it is a D, the parties before it till the execution of the decree and order. Which one is a false statement in the 8th question? Yes. Anyone can unmute and give me the answer. Yes? Are you hearing me? Sai Kirtan, I could not see your microphone.
Sir, C, sir.
Answer is C. Because the Civil Procedure Code regulates every criminal action. No, it's not a criminal action. It's only civil action in civil courts. Means the false statement is C in 8th question. Good. 9th question. Can anyone unmute and read what is the 9th question?
The Civil Procedure Code was passed on 1908 and came into force from 1st January 1909, 2nd January 1909, 3rd January 1909, 4th January 1909.
Sir, 1st January 99.
Yes, Premala, that is the right answer. 1st January 1909 is the right answer. It came into the force on that day. The 10th question is, the framers of the code, legislatures, provided inherent powers to the code to meet such circumstances, where the code could not provide a procedure. According to the principle of right sequence, you have to say, what are the principles to be avoided? Equity, natural justice, and good conscience. B. Natural justice, equity, and good conscience. C. Good conscience, natural justice, and equity. D. Equity, good conscience, and natural justice. Which is the proper sequence among the
Sir.
A, B, C, D?
C,
sir.
sir. Good conscience.
Yes. It is B is the right answer. That is the natural justice, equity, and good conscience. That would be used over there in framing or making the CPC. Yeah, that sequence is followed. Okay, 11th question is, in the event of any conflict, I repeat. Oh, you are speaking, Jyoti, you mute it. 11th, in the event of any conflict between the Civil Procedure Code and the special law, the special law will dash over the Civil Procedure Code. The dash is A, dominate, B, eclipse, C, prevail, D, overrule. Which is the appropriate word there? Among the four, in the 11th question.
D, overrule, sir.
No, it's not overrule. Prevail.
C.
C is the right answer.
Prevail.
C is the right answer. The special law will prevail over the Civil Procedure Code. That is the appropriate word. Because when the conflict comes with the Civil Procedure Code and the special law, which law will prevail? At the time, special law will be prevail over there on the Civil Procedure Code. That is the answer. Okay. 12th question. The code has parts and they are A, the body of the code, B, the schedules, C, only A, D, both A and B.
B, sir.
Which one?
Both A and B, sir.
Sir,
Answer
D,
is
sir.
D.
Both A and B.
Sir,
Answer is D. Both A and B. The fourth is D answer. That means the first part is the body of the code. The second part is the schedules. Okay, now let us see the 13th question. The body of the code has dash parts containing dash sections. Now the two dash you can fill it. A, 12 and 157. B, 12 and 158. C, 13 and 158. D, 12 and 159. Repeat, Jyoti. Breaking voice is there. The right answer is 12
B,
and
sir.
158. B is the right answer. I appreciate.
Yes.
It's a B is the right answer. There are 12 parts are there and 158 sections are there. That is the right answer for the 13th question. Now let us come to the 14th question. What it says. In fact, there were dash schedules when this code was enacted. Later, 4 schedules were repealed by the subsequent amendment of the code. How many schedules are there in the dash in the beginning? 3, 4, 5, 6. In the beginning,
5, sir.
Yes? Please speak. In the beginning, there are only 5 schedules are there in the beginning. So the right answer is C. 5 is the right answer in the dash, the blanks. But now, how many schedules are there? Anyone?
51, sir.
I say, how many schedules are there? I said.
One schedule, sir.
Sir, one schedule and then 51 orders, sir.
Only one schedule. 2, 3, 4, 5 is repealed. Yes, 15th question. The first schedule, which is only scheduled to the code, now has orders. Each order contains the rules that vary in number from order to order. There are appendices giving modal formats. Then you can say what is the dash here. Here dash I say has now how many orders are there and how many appendices are there. Yes. Anyone, how many appendices are there? How many orders are there? Answer is there are 51 in orders
51 orders.
and 8 appendices. So the right answer is B. Right answer is for 15th B. 51 and 8 is the right answer. Okay, can anyone unmute and read what is the 16th question?
There are appendices given model formats among 3, but not 1. Process formats, orders, decrees, execution.
Yes. In the formats, there are 3 are there, but 1 is not in the formats. What is that? Is it a
Execution,
process?
sir.
Pardon?
D, sir. Execution.
No, it is the orders are not
Orders.
there in the format. Process formats are there, decree formats are there, execution formats are there, but orders formats are not there. That is the 16th question. Here I have given the feedback. Pleadings, plaint and written statement format, process format, discovery format, inspection, admission, decrees format, execution format, supplemental proceedings, appeal references and reviews, and miscellaneous. These are all the formats are there, but not order format is not there. But here the answer is execution is there, decrease is there, process format is there, but orders is not there. Hence, the 16th answer is B. That is the orders. Now let us see the 17th question. The various high courts are empowered to alter or add any rules in the schedules under section dash, and such new rules should not be inconsistent with the provisions of the body of the code, and which one is wrong or false among the following section. So there is one which is wrong sections which I paid. The rest of the other A, B, C, D, 3 are right. So which is 3 are right, which is wrong among the A, B, C, D? Yes. So think over. So 122 to 126, 129, 130 and 131. Yes, very much relevant. It is there. Yes, 122, 128, 129, 130, 131. Only one is
122 to
inconsistent.
127, 129, 130, and 131. C, sir.
C is the wrong one. Means the right answer for the 17 is there. New rule should not be under section. There, the right answer is 122 to 127, 129, 130 and 131. So that is
Yes,
the
sir.
alter to add any rules in the schedule under section. That is the wrong is that C. Now let us see the 18th. Which one of the following is a false statement? I said false statement. A. The civil procedure code made the procedure to be followed in the civil courts very simple and effective. B. Enforcement of rights, liabilities, and obligation of citizens are dealt by this code. Okay. C. Civil procedure code provides the mechanism for the encroachment of rights and liabilities. D. Civil procedure code provides the mechanism for the enforcement of rights and liabilities. Then which is a false statement among the A, B, C, D? Closely watch. Then you say. Yes. Shoot, even though it is wrong, doesn't matter. There is no minus marks.
Pass.
Okay, C is the false statement because there is the rights are there, but no encroachment of rights and liabilities. So C is the false statement. Rest of A, B, D is the right, corrected to that one. 19th question. in case if the local or special law is dash about any particular issue, then the civil procedure code will apply. Use the appropriate word in the blank space.
Silent, sir. Be silent.
Silent. Silent is the appropriate word. Not dumb, not sound, not sleep. Only silent is an appropriate word to fill the gap over there. Okay. 20. In case of attachment, while executing a decree, the monthly salary up to the 1,000 and dash of the remaining salary exceed 1,000 will not be attached. Means that percentage is not attached. Which one is? 1/3, 2/3, 2/4, or half?
1/3, sir.
Only 2/3 should be attached. Only 2/3 should be attached, but not the entire thing. Answer is, with the 1,000 salary would be there, 2/3 of the remaining salary exceeding 1,000 will not be attached. So 2/3 is the appropriate blank there. Okay. 21st question is, the code is divided into two parts. The first part contains dash sections, and the second part contains the first schedule, and which has dash orders and rules. Now you
D,
tell
sir.
me. Yes.
D 158 and
Yes,
51.
you are right. If the 158 sections are there and 51 are orders. Now you tell me, I want to test you, a supplementary question. The part 1 is the sections, part 2 is the schedules. That's why we say CPC is consisting of the two parts. So the first schedule is only the retaining in there. The other second, third, fourth, fifth schedule is repealed later on. In the beginning, there are 5 schedules are there. Is it clear?
Okay.
Very good. 22nd question. The present Code of Civil Procedure was enacted in 1908. Good. It was drafted by the committee headed by whom? A. Thomas Babington Macaulay. B. Sir James Stephen. C. Sir Erla Richards. D. Lord Atkins.
Sir, C, sir. Sir Erla Richards.
Sir Erla Richards. Beautiful, Sandhya, that you give the answer for the right. What about the Thomas Babington Macaulay?
CRPC, sir.
Of course, he also father of the CRPC, but the first and foremost, 1860. What is that?
IPC, sir.
IPC. Okay, now you tell me, what about the Sir James Stephen? Supplementary question. He is a head, he is a father of, he is a founder, he is a drafting committee, he is a propounder of what? Sir James Stephen. Adjunctive law, which is both procedure law as well as the substantive law, that comes in the 3 major acts. Tell me now, see, I gave the hint to you.
Okay, sir.
Law of evidence. Sir James Stephen, he is a propounded the law of evidence, and the 3 major acts, IPC 1, 2, evidence 3, CRPC. Now let us see the 23rd question. Which one is the latest amendment of to CPC 1908? 218, 219, 2020, 2021.
2020, sir. October
See,
2020.
to make you confusion that I gave 20, 2021. The last one is only 2019, if I not be mistaken.
Sir.
If I not be
2020.
mistaken, the last one
It's
is
2020, sir. It's
2019.
2020.
No, there is no 2020, I believe. Please check it.
Code of Civil
I think
Procedure.
2018, sir.
2018.
2018, sir.
18 they
Sir,
made
18,
it.
sir.
Bill they made it 18, but it became an act in the 2019. Okay, subject to the correction, because as far I checked it, is the 2019 is the latest one. Okay, subject to the correction, please check it once again, which is the latest amendment of the CPC. You check it, okay? Now, 24th, which one is correct statement? I said correct statement, note the point. A, suit is not defined by CPC. B, CPC is substantial law. C, CPC deal with the criminal litigation. D, CPC is consisting of 3 parts.
Sir,
B, sir.
Substantive law, sir. B.
B, sir.
CPC consisting of only 2 parts. One is sections, another is schedules, orders. Then CPC is not a substantial law. It is the half of the substantial law, half of the procedure law, but overall we can say CPC is the procedure law. Then CPC deals with the criminal litigation. No, CPC will not deal with the criminal litigation. CPC deals with the civil litigation. Then which is the correct statement?
yes, sir.
A, suit is not defined by the CPC. In the CPC, nowhere the suit is defined. Where the suit comes in where? Only civil litigation. 2 things are there in civil litigation. Number 1, suit. Number 2, petition. These are the 2 things. Okay, now let us come to the 25 question. What is 25 question says? Can anybody read? 25th question, unmute and read.
Sir, 25. The general sequence in civil litigation in India: A, plaint, summons, written statement, judgment and decree, hearing and execution proceeding, trial execution proceedings.
Okay, now
B,
I read the
plaint.
B. I will read. B, plaint, written statement, summons, hearing and trials, judgment and decree, execution proceedings. C, plaint, summon, written statement, hearing and trial, judgment and decree, and execution proceedings. The last one is plaint, summons, written statement, judgment and decree, hearing and trial, execution petty proceedings. Which one is the correct sequence in the civil litigation?
So I will go with C.
B, sir.
Plain summons.
It is a C. I appreciate that C is the right answer. Number 1, plaint, later summons, later written statement, later on after some time hearing and trial, then after some time judgment and decree, then the last one is EP, means execution proceedings. So the right answer is C. Here I have given the sequence. The feedback is here. The plaint first, next summons, next written statement. In written statement, there is a set off is there, counterclaim is there, new facts are there. Next, appearances and non-appearances of the parties are there. Next, discovery, inspection, interrogatives, these are other small stages. Then the amendment of the pleading they want, we can make it in this stage. Then the framing of the issues comes over there. Then the hearing and trials will start. Then the judgment and decree will come. Then the execution proceedings will be maintained. So these are the different stages of the civil procedure code where the case is filed in the court. Yes, now 26th. The term decree is defined in dash of Code of Civil Procedure 1908. In which section it is dealt? Section 2, subsection 1, section 2, subsection 2, section 3, 2, subsection 3, section 2, or subsection 4?
D, sir.
Subsection 2, sir. B,
It's
sir.
the B is the right answer. I appreciate. 2 of them given the right answer. That is section 2, subsection 2 of the Civil Code of Civil Procedure 1908 will say, right? Now the 27th question, that the pleadings have been defined under order dash rule dash of CPC, which states that pleading shall be plain or written statements. What is the order and what is the rule? When you say
Yes, sir.
yes. Repeat, Jyoti.
C.
C.
Yes, sir.
C, sir.
No, it is a C is the right answer. It is the order 6, rule
one.
1 of the CPC, where the pleading have been defined. So the right answer is order 6 and rule 1 is the right way of the answer. Okay, now the 28th question. Written statements are the statements defined in order dash rule dash of CPC, which states that the defendant should file written statements in 30 days from the date of issuance of the summons. In which order, under which rule? Yes. Which order and which rule the written statement should be submitted within 30 days from the date of issuance of the summons? The right answer is
D, sir.
D, sir.
B. Even though it is wrong, there is no negative marks. You can shoot it. You can make the expectation. The sixth sense, you can use it. So the answer is B. That is the order 8, rule 1, where the written statement should be submitted within 30 days from the date of the issuance of the summons. That is the 28th question. Now let us see the 29th question. Which one of the statement is a false statement? I say false statement. Please note the point. The other statements are very much clear, but only one statement is wrong. Which is the wrong statement in the following? A. Pleading should contain the facts, but no law should be applied. Only the court has the power to apply the law on the basis of the facts stated in the pleadings. B. Pleading should contain the material facts. Parties should avoid using the immaterial or irrelevant facts in the pleading. C. Parties should not give the evidence in the pleading from which facts are. D. Pleading could contain the material facts in the brief form. Parties should avoid using the irrelevant or immaterial statement while drafting the plaint. Yes, now you tell me. Yes. False statement.
C, sir.
See, to my knowledge, party should not give the evidence in the pleading from the which the facts are. They should give the evidence and they should not give the evidence.
Should give the evidence.
Then, is it not the false?
Should not give the evidence. C is the correct, sir.
C is the correct answer. Because I removed, I put the not there, then I want to make you whether you can follow it or not. If you read the sentence, you could know it. The party should give the evidence in the pleading from which the facts are there. They have to produce the evidence. That they must. So the C is the right answer for this question. Should not know, should give. Okay, now 30. You check it. Amendment to pleading. I repeat. Amendments to pleading is given under order dash of rule dash of the CPC 1998. Which order and which rule? A. 6 and 15. B. 6 and 16. C. 6 and 17. D. 5th and 17.
6
See, whenever you are,
answer.
yes?
C, sir.
C is
C,
the
sir.
right answer. Yes. Pramela, that you are right. C is the right answer. When you write the order, you have to write in which numerals? Anyone? When you write the orders, you have to write in which numerals?
Roman numeral, sir.
Roman capital. See here, this is the Roman capital which I highlighted it. So that is in that way that you have to write it when you are writing the orders, right? Now 31st question. Which one among the following is a false statement? See, I say false statement. Let I put it in one frame, in one place, so that you could know it. Yes. Now let us see. And I don't know, today is only 15 members are present, but earlier the very good strength is there. Okay, let us see that. 31 question that is placed. False statement. A. The primary objective for the court to allow the application for the amendment of pleading in secure the ends of the justice and prevent injustice to the other parties. B. Also, this amendment is necessary for the purpose of determining the real question in controversy between the parties. C. Amendment of the pleading help the parties to correct its mistakes in the pleading. D. In the case of the Smith versus Cropper, the court stated that the object behind the amendment of the pleading is to protect the rights of the parties and not to punish them for the mistake made by them in the pleadings. Among these four, which one is the wrong one? Sir, it is difficult to make it out, sir. No, sometimes they may give answer. They may give the questions in this form also. Because they will give the statement, they will say one is right or they will say one is wrong. And which is one is false or wrong, you have to find it out by reading it. Suppose if you read the conditions of it, then to me, to you it is a difficult. Yes, it is very difficult because in the no book that you are, it will be like that. But the D is the right because I wrote what they know. In the case of Cropper versus Smith, they wrote. But I changed from Smith to Cropper. Instead of writing Cropper versus Smith, I wrote Smith versus Cropper. The court stated that the object behind the amendment of the pleadings to protect the rights of the parties, not to punish them for the mistake. So there they committed a mistake. That's why you can say this question, 31 question, the right answer is D. Sir, can we remember some cases also, sir? Yes, provided they are famous. Because this is the Cropper versus Smith is a famous case now. That's why it is mentioned in the ingredients of the primary objections. Or, yes, it is given there. In the amendments, pleadings, it is given over there. Now let us see the 32 question. There are the following necessary conditions to be satisfied before granting leave for the amendment of pleading. For the amendment of pleading, there are 3 conditions should be satisfied, but not one. So one is not among them. So 3 are supporting necessary condition to be satisfied for granting the leave for the amendment of pleadings. But one is not among them. So which is not among them, now we have to find it out. A. This grant of leave should not lead to the injustice to the party, to other party. B. The amendment of the pleading is necessary for determining the real question of the controversy between the parties. C. When nature of the case will change by allowing the application for amendment of appeal. D. When a new cause of action does not arise by allowing application for the amendment. Which one is the right answer for this regard? Yes, anyone?
Yes, sir. The grant of leave submitted not lead to the.
See, if the amendment is there, if the amendment will not be there, it will lead to the injustice to the other party. The leave of grant should not lead to the injustice to the other party, is the relevant point. Amendment is must, otherwise the injustice will come. Should not lead to the injustice, means injustice should not cause to the party. I made the changes to the D, where action arises. Action arises by allowing application of an amendment, but I wrote does not arise. The D, when a new cause of action arises by allowing the application of an amendment, that is a right. But I wrote does not arise by allowing application of an amendment, I wrote. So that's why the D is not one among the ground for granting the leave of amendment of the pleading. Yes, 33 question. It is a case law. It is a case law completely. So you should not know the case law. In the case of Dash, Supreme Court held that the defendant can be allowed to change completely the case made in certain paragraphs of the written statement and substitute an entirely different and new case. So even the case law, the Supreme Court held that the defendant cannot be allowed to change completely the case. He cannot. Who? Defendant. The case made in certain paragraph of a written statement and substitute an entirely different and a new case. So he cannot make it a substantial changes over there, but he can make some of the changes in the complaint. So what is observed in this? Number one, in SS Khanna versus FJ Dhillon, or Madhu Limaya versus State of Maharashtra, or Modi Spinning and Weaving Mills Company versus Lada Ram Company, and the Baldev Das versus Filmistan Distributors India Private Limited. In which one of the case law where the Supreme Court has passed the stricture that a defendant does not have a right to make complete change to the issues are concerned, their complaint is concerned. He can make a little changes, but not the entire changes could be made in the plaint. Yes, name of the case law is shoot. You are not sure which one is there. You can shoot. Perhaps your luck may favor you. It doesn't matter. There is no minus mass.
Sir, see, sir, Modi Spinning and Weaving Mills
It is
Company.
a C, Modi Spinning and Weaving Mills Company versus Lodha Ram and Company. In that case, it is given the defendant does not have the right to change entirely the complaint, and I made the new complaint that is made in that case law. Then the 34th case law is which one is not jurisdiction of a civil court in district level or given bill. I say not. Which one is not jurisdiction, means other three are in the jurisdiction of the civil court in the district level. And which is not, we have to think. A, territorial, geographical jurisdiction. B, writ jurisdiction. C, pecuniary jurisdiction. D, jurisdiction over the subject matter.
Sir, writ jurisdiction. B, sir.
Writ jurisdiction is not for the district court. Where the writ jurisdiction is there?
State level and central level, sir.
32 or 226, sir. Supreme Court or High Court?
Yes, Supreme Court 32 article and High Court 226 article.
226.
Jurisdiction is available. Is it clear? Say yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. 35th question. See, the match the following words part 1 with the explanation in part 2, which I have given here. So now, in the part 1, I wrote insolvency refers to interlocutory application, means estoppel, meaning res judicata, all these things mentioned in the part 1. In a jumbled order that I wrote, part 2, a thing adjudged. B, principle of law by which a person is held bound by the representation made by him or arising out of his conduct. C, means an application to the court in any suit, appeal, or proceedings already instituted in such court, other than the proceedings for the execution of a decree or order. D, to situation where a debtor cannot pay the debts she owes. So now, match the following. Which one is what? 1D, 2C, 3B, 4A, 1D, 2C, 3A, 4B, 1C, 2D, 3B, 4A, 1D, 2B, 3C, 4A. Which one is the right answer?
1D, 2C, 3A, 4B, sir. B, sir.
Take some more time. We know res judicata means for a thing adjudged, means 4A. Estoppel, the right answer is
1C, 2D, 3B, 4A.
A, B, C, D.
3C, sir.
Hmm?
C, sir.
D, sir, answer. D, answer.
Check it once again, D, whether D is the right answer or not. Res judicata, see, check it
C,
here.
sir,
Res judicata means a thing adjudged.
Adjudged.
Yes.
And estoppel means principle of law. See, if you see here, principle of law, where is the estoppel? Estoppel 3. And 3B is the principle of B. So the first A is the right answer here. So estoppel means principle of law by which a person is held bound by, still 5 minutes are there, bound by the representation made by him or arising out of his conduct. That is estoppel. Then interlocutory application means that an application to the court in any suit, or appeal or proceedings already instituted in such court other than the proceedings of execution of a decree or order. Though insolvency refers means the situation where the debtor cannot pay the debts and she owes. See, say insolvency is to situation where a debtor cannot pay the debts she owes. Why wrote the she owes? Why not they wrote he owes? Anyone? Yes? Because here insolvency or insolvent, it will be a feminine gender, they have taken it. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
It is a feminine gender, it is taken over there. Because son is a feminine gender or a masculine gender?
Masculine, sir.
Son
Masculine.
is, repeat,
Masculine gender, sir.
masculine gender. What about the moon?
Feminine gender, sir.
Then what about the ship? SHI.
Neutral, sir.
Titan.
Neutral.
Feminine.
No, it comes under the she.
She.
Yeah, it's come under the she. So these are the things which I developed in the today, but I will show you the other thing which I want to make it to you. So the next class, this is the 10 marks questions. How many marks question this is?
See, it is 10 marks.
It is a 10 marks questions, and I want to show the next one. Yes, let us come to the point. Yeah, because time is going to up now. It is hardly 1 hour, 1 minute is. Yes, see, when you happen to see the syllabus, see, now we have completed the administrative law 3 marks question, alternative dispute resolution including the arbitration at 4 marks question, code of civil procedure 10 marks question, and tomorrow class is company law 2 marks question. But still I can make 35, 40, 50 depending upon the time factor is concerned, because CPC is difficult to frame the questions, because whatever the question which I framed, did you see in any one on the online? Because it's only created by myself only after reading it. I did not take from the model, but I took as a model from the others, then I coined them. So you could see in the sections, you could see the cases, you could see some of the articles, and you could see the pinpoint, the main ingredients of the CPC and what the object of it, what are the salient feature of the CPC, you could see in it. So the next case law, I mean, the next class, that is tomorrow, please read the company law. Which company law that you will read? The old one or new one?
One.
Write the new one, because you have the new one only with the company law. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes. With this, I would like to wind up today's class. Then I would like to see how many are left in the last. Even the number is decreased over there. But here I will read that who are the persons who are present. 118, that is Dr. Sav is present, and 1121, I think A.V. Narasimha Rao is there, Lakshmi Narana, Eknath, Dhanalakshmi, Jyoti, Premela, Aralabandi, Natraju, Sai Kirtan, that nickname is Bahubali, and who are the other thing, and Sandhya Rani is present over there. With this, I would like to wind up class, and tomorrow when you come, please read the company law class, company law. Before I could the 4 multiple choice question, you should be in a position to give the answer.
Yes,
I
sir.
repeat, before I could read the 4
Okay.
multiple choice questions that you are supposed to give the answer. Yes, you want to ask anything? Sai Kirtan, do you like to ask anything?
No, sir.
Okay, see, 1 or 2 minutes are left over there. But anyway, that now automatically it will be closed. But before it closes, I will close it so that we will say end of the meeting.